it's a sacred moment for me because I'm here and I've been living near here for a long time, and I've never really spent a full day here. So I want to get into what I think is my current level of the awakening. Since the 12th of December, it's like I'm going up in the worlds, mind style. So from the lower world to the higher world. I remember having a dream where within the concept of Vishnu, which is the supreme god in Hindu mythology, and that's in my blood on my father's mother's side. Okay? I have a car coming. My father's side, you have blood from Afghanistan. On my mother's side, Welsh and Germanic. So there's various different types of mythological deities that may be associated with each one of those. So during certain times in which we're going through portals for DNA activation, times in which our genetic memory is stirring and we're remembering things, concepts. That car was driving clear on the other side. The idea that I'm presenting here, kind of in a delicate manner, is that I'm picking up on a lot of those different things in unique ways. So I'm actually seeing, by studying these rocks, elements of Norse mythology, and within that which they call Odin, the dark side to that. There may be a light side. So I don't just see a certain mythology or story being told on the walls of the rocks and then take it as at face value, literally, and then start bowing down and worshiping. Rather, there's a series of stories that are being told through nature, and it's more than one possibility. So in the various levels, it'll take me time to write this out, but the core of it is the different world mythologies that can be found here in Colorado. The idea that somehow this is Atlantis, or Atlantis fell into this place. The biblical flood, the biblical deluge, they have taken out a lot of innocent spirits that were brought to life on this planet. How do we know that was God? Here I find myself, right? I've talked about the archons. I've talked about those of the unseen that use dark technology, just like the Native Americans. And that same force, some people worship as God. I don't. So when people say this was God that did this, that knocked the Titans down, the giants, and others, how do we know that was God? And how do we know that everything was evil and all the actions were evil from the forms of earth on this planet at this time? The answer is that we don't. We don't know that. So I take a deep breath here, and I see that there's a lot of energetic space today. People aren't really out and about. And there's something about coming to a place like this in the winter. When it's quiet, not necessarily for the purpose of having beers and barbecuing with a bunch of people or boating, but just simply to walk on the land. If you better leave, I'm going to get a raft. I'm going to get a little raft and a little setup. And I really almost heard a little voice back there in the behind. So the big epiphany is knowing that Dion Fortune was doing protective rituals for her country in the 40s, around the same time the Hopi returned to Chimney Rock during World War II after the Japanese attacked to pray on behalf of the United States. And as we look at the possibility of the next third world war with China, as we look at my interview with Leon Legant, where he predicted or has seen in spirit this country invaded by those forces. It's not an accident that I'm here, but I also don't think that it's an accident that I have stumbled upon this knowledge. That I have stumbled upon this knowledge where others have not, or others have not found it significant, because the information's on the internet. So somebody might look up something about a Native American site and go, okay, yeah, they fled during this period. We don't know what it was. Let's speculate about it. The giants and cannibalism. And let's leave it at that. That's what some people do. But there's something more to learn about some of these places. So upon looking at the mythos of the Hopi and their sacred site, just up to the north of here by about 10 to 15 miles, they believed in twin God-of-war spirits that were protective spirits, and it's possible that those spirits could have been, or the energies could have been misused, and those spirits could have been at war even, or those of the ancients with the others that were living on the other side of this mountain here. Because when you study the faces in the rocks, the types of demons in the rocks, large faces in the rocks, it's similar, but it's a little different. When you look at the images of this rock, it has that eastern overtone and the serpent. And we know that the ancient world had goddess serpent religions, and a lot of things have been misportrayed by religions. A lot of things have been called demonic that are not demonic. Things are mislabeled all the time. So what we're doing now is we're walking up on the amphitheater. You know, I've taken other people's opinions on what they think is going on. Like Bill, for example, said that he thought that it started here. Life started here and the story started here and then it spread to the rest of the world. That's possible. That almost seems to defy. We have a couple deer over here. It defies a lot of what we've been told, but it's possible. So the water's over here. Maybe there's a walkway over here that we may get a chance to access. I can almost hear some sort of a bell nearby.